The center has moved to a room, this room, no more than 6x6 meters, which is still large for what it is needed. The size, so large, satisfies the habitability, but the server, with everything you need, could fit into a very small closet, and can also be controlled remotely. The classic photogrammetric restitutor has been replaced by the computer. Therefore, with regard to costs, we went from a minimum of 100 million lire, we went, say, to costs of 4 or 5 million lire, the maximum, given just for access. So now the equipment is accessible to everyone. Before it was unthinkable that a private individual could buy a restitutor for himself. Today these restitutions, that is, taking measurements from the frames, can do them all, even from home, and on not excessively powerful computers. We have seen, in the recent video, the possibility offered by the stereoscope with double eyepieces. That is, the possibility for two people to discuss the same stereometric model. This stereoscope, at the time, cost about 17 million lire, and this too is easily surpassed. Because if we see a little bit, in this room there are already two computers connected in the network, and software like Timbuktu or similars allow two people connected on the net to discuss a model, an object, say, a project. There is one thing, and it is the most interesting thing, that these people can both be in this room. But they can be located, one in this room and the other in Brazil too. Nothing changes in communication. To draw in the space in which we live. At the time, let's remember, for example, some attempts to draw in this space we live in. They resorted to the light bulb in a dark environment, taken by the camera set. They were attempts, but certainly not one could think of scientifically realizing the design. Today we say that everything has changed. What we see above, it is not a model, but a virtual model, which can enlarge, reduce. A beautiful thing that eliminates all the disadvantages of plastic. Those who have tried to make a model can only be shocked by what remains after the realization of the model itself. Scraps of cardboard, wood, glass and more. Now such a model is being created, but everything remains clean, because it is a virtual model. This, which we see in particular, is the result of a degree thesis. I repeat, he can see to reduce it, but we can also visit it internally with a virtual camera too. And in fact we see the video. becomes
ancora più
even more
interessante se si pensa
interesting if you
al
think about the
progetto, alla
project,
progettazione architettonica.
the architectural design. I can
Io
draw.
posso
At the time there was
disegnare,
talk of
all'epoca si parlava di
quadrics,
quadri,
of
superfici
rotation
di rotazione, come
surfaces,
fatte
but
impensabili.
representing them
Oggi
was
posso
unthinkable.
tranquillamente disegnare sempre in
Today
questo
I
spazio
can safely
tridimensionale.
draw them, always
Da
in the
precisare,
three-dimensional
tridimensionale non è la
space.
prospettiva,
To be
ma tridimensionale
specified,
significa
that
avere un'immagine
three-dimensional
che
does
può
not
essere misurata
correspond
nelle
to
tre direzioni.
perspective. Three-dimensional means
Dicevo,
having
possiamo
an
disegnare una
image
curva,
that can be
farla
measured
ruotare
in
intorno a
three
un asse
directions.
e avere
I said,
un vaso.
we can draw a curve,
Un vaso anch'esso che non
rotate it
esiste,
around an
ma che posso
axis,
spostare
and have a
comunque.
vase, which also does not
Diciamo
exist,
che è
but
finita
which I
l'epoca in
can
cui
move
il
anyway.
professore di
Let's
geometria
say the time
fare
is
una
over when
dimostrazione
the
alla lavagna
geometry professor,
facendo
to make a demonstration on the
la fatidica frase,
blackboard,
supponiamo che sia
making
un
a
cesto.
circle, he
Oggi un
pronounced the
cesto lo possiamo
fateful
disegnare
phrase,
sempre in
suppose it
questo
is,
spazio in cui
the
viviamo
circle.
con estrema precisione.
Today we can always draw
Lo
it
facciamo ruotare
in this
intorno
space
a
in
un
which
asse,
we
a un
live
diametro
with
e
extreme
abbiamo la
precision.
sfera.
I do it to
A
rotate
questa
around
sfera
an
poi
axis,
possiamo dare un
a
peso, una massa
diameter, and we have the sphere.
e un'accelerazione di
Then
gravità
we can give
e
this
la vediamo
sphere a
cadere.
weight and a mass and an acceleration of
Possiamo dargli
gravity,
una
and
certa
we see it
elasticità
fall.
e
We
la
can
vediamo
give it a
rimbalzare.
certain
E a seconda
elasticity,
delle
and
relazioni
we see
date
it
rimbalza
bounce.
più o meno
And
fino a
according
farla
to the
arrivare al punto
values
superiore
given,
dal quale
we
è
can
caduto.
see it bounce until it reaches a point higher than that from which it fell. The
Analogo
same
discorso va
goes
fatto
for
per le
structures,
strutture.
here. As we see,
E qui vediamo
we
possiamo
can mount
montare
two
due
cylinders,
cilindri,
a
un
plane
piano
and
e
a
sopra una
sphere on
sfera.
top.
Appena
As soon
disegnate
as drawing you
funziona.
everything works, but
Ma
by giving
dando
the
i
famous
famosi
physical
parametri
parameters
fisici
to
a
these
questi
elements,
elementi,
we see how
vediamo come
everything
tutto
falls.
cade.
The same
Analogo
goes
discorso va fatto
for
per esempio
example,
per un arco.
about it is easy to
È
see
facile
the
vedere
arch
l'arco
drawn and
disegnato
everything
e
is fine.
tutto va bene. Ma proviamo a togliere un punto
But we try to remove a rashler and we
e ci rendiamo
easily
conto facilmente
realize
che il
that the bow
lascio
collapses.